So just to follow up on what you were saying, you mentioned that the administration isn't looking like this as, taking away from the library budget, but the end result will be a lower budget for the library. No. So I guess, number one, I think the main, one disconnect here between some people I've spoken to is trying to understand what y'all have said, which is that this 40% reduction in tax revenues won't result in any lower services and cut programs. And I'm just trying to work through the logic of how that's possible. I mean, y'all haven't laid out a roadmap or a new budget for what this would look like. So, I mean, what can you say to kind of give the public some confidence?
Well, what I can say is this: currently, the New Orleans Public Library, over the past 5 years, has not spent its budget that's allocated by the city of New Orleans. Okay, so over the past 5 years, their expenditures. So we're looking at the expenditures, what the library has spent doing its programming, everything that they do. It's out of line with the budget allocation. They're allocated more than what they spend. So we're right sizing. We're bringing it in to alignment. Their expenditures and developing their budget to meet their expenditures. So no, we're not cutting them at all. They are going to be supported as they have been based on the expenditures that they've had annually in an upward of 5 years. But not only that, even over the past 5 years and with the millage proposal that the voters approved 5 years ago, the libraries have been running a significant surplus. We're not at a point in our city where any department, any agency can run a surplus when you have needs elsewhere. But what we're saying here is that we're going to continue to support the libraries and their programming in all branches that are open as they have been, but with the opportunity even to reevaluate. And that's what has to happen now. And under the new leadership that we have in place, especially with the luxury that the library has of having a great reserve. The reserve is larger even than the city of New Orleans, and we'll keep that reserve at 10%, which is extremely healthy. So what we're saying is we are again aligning the budget with the current expenditures of the library. So no, nothing will go away.
Right, but in the past 2 years, the library spent 98% and 97% of what it got. And I know that we're referring to those earlier years.
That's inaccurate. Yeah, we've given, it's not true.
We can send you those numbers.
Yeah.
In 2019, they underspent the personnel services budget by 1.5. So their actuals hovered at around 12.7 and they were budgeted 4.2. In 2019, they underspent their other operating budget by 4.6 million.
Do you have those for the whole operating and personnel budget combined?
Yeah. No, we do.
Yeah, so together that's close to $6 million.
We listen. If anyone, in terms of libraries, who have been the forefront of libraries in the city of New Orleans, it's been LaToya Cantrell, and I have to say Emily Wolf. And I'm not talking about in an elected capacity. I'm talking about as a neighborhood leader, raised millions to bring libraries back online, but not only that, a focus on a holistic approach, and that's what we're offering, and we will continue to offer. But now is the time, and when you think about the trade-off of early childhood education, that's a huge win. And in addition to that, while we have been doing the deep dives that have been necessary, that I've charged my team to do, to look at special funds. Where are all these funds? How much money do we have in these funds? What are their gears towards? We held the first Board of Trustees meeting in 25 years. And what did we do at that meeting? We allocated resources from those funds, which the majority are for our libraries. So we gotta do things differently here and utilize all of the resources that we have at our disposal, especially for our libraries. In addition to that, when we look at the needs of our libraries in terms of the capital needs, the archival space at Maine, built into the NOPL's budget, hey, I removed that and put it it in our capital budget, because that's what makes sense. So it's really not taking anything away. It's being more efficient with the resources that we have, and especially at a time in our city to where we have to do more with less. But what we're saying to our libraries, it's not less. It's an opportunity to reevaluate, to bring our budget in alignment with our expenditures, and to do more for the people of this city. That's what it's about.